Hey everybody, Steve here with my dice, Ultramarines and Beyond, and it has been a fun week and a bit. So the title says why I hate artillery dice. We'll get to that quickly. But yeah, Friday of last week, I took part in a old world mega battle, and I haven't played any fantasy since 2008. So it was great to get back into it. I played an Empire army, a Nuln Empire army, so lots of cannons, Hell Blasters, not the Space Marine Hell Blasters, different ones. And I also had some cool stuff in there, some Halberdiers, a nice Empire captain leading the way, an engineer as well, trying to keep those cannons going. It was great. It was amazing to see so many models out there, play an old game I haven't played in forever. Now, the artillery part is what shocked me the most, because I'm pretty sure, I'm relatively certain that I broke the laws of probability with the amount of misfires I've rolled on artillery dice. Now, if you don't know what artillery dice are, if you've never played Old World or you never played Fantasy, you have no idea what I'm talking about. When in this game, when you fire cannons or Hell Blasters, anything sort of black powder, that's a big, I'm sure there's other ones, I never really played the other ones. You roll an artillery dice. It's a 6-sided dice, and it has 10, 8, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and then in the one position is a little symbol with an exclamation mark and a little blast around it, which is your misfire. So basically when you fire a cannon, you sort of pick a point within the range of that weapon where you want the cannon to hit. You roll your artillery dice and you get that extra distance. It can also bounce, but if you roll misfire, things go wrong. It can be just your cannon doesn't fire, to crew members dying, to your cannon exploding. And I must have rolled, I think I fired, I think something in the realm of 12, 15 shots, and I think I misfired on like most of them, to the point where my cannons were doing nothing, my Hell Blasters weren't firing. I also had some Outriders. They did a lot of damage with their rifles, their repeater rifles, which was good. Took out some Dark Elves, some other stuff. But yeah, I just could not hit anything. And when I did manage to get some shots off, I rolled like ones like you wouldn't believe. So my cannons, my Hell Blasters did nothing. Black powder everywhere, and almost nothing died. So it was pretty bad. So artillery dice, I don't know. I don't ever want to touch them again. Maybe it was just bad luck. Again, I haven't played since 2008. So again, I was just trying to get back in the feel of things. It was an amazing time though. Again, the misfires and all that was just part of this epic fun night we had. We had pizza and drinks. We're just reminiscing about old times, relearning how to play the armies, just seeing all these amazingly, fantastically put together armies. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it also reminded me why I'm never a huge fan of fantasy. Maybe I don't have the fully tactical mind necessary for it, I don't know, but I was never a big fan of fantasy to begin with. I never liked the fact that you could actually lose a game in deployment. Maybe it's because I never really got into it. I don't understand the nuances of it, but I do know there's many games, even by people playing tournaments back in my Games Workshop days, who said, yeah, that's a big problem with the game. You can lose on deployment. It's not an open game in terms of, say, a 40K where you kind of go in any direction you want. You're using blocks of troops. There's wheeling and marching, and it's a lot more complicated game. It's a fun game, but it's a far more complicated game. I'm hoping to do another one of those in the not too distant future. But yeah, wow, I just could not believe how many misfires I rolled. My artillery was just the worst. The rest of the game went well. We had some epic battles on both flanks. Down in the center, we had this drag-out, brutal battle between a Chaos Lord and a Duke of Bretonia, or not a Duke, a Count of Bretonnia. I can't remember exactly which one. I think the Duke's higher up. We limited no Lord level characters, and but it went on for a while, and this Duke held the middle of the board incredibly well. Lots of Bretonnia Knights died. It was Empire, that was me, Bretonnia, and Wood Elves, versus the Dark Elves, Tomb Kings, and Chaos. And it was brutal. Both generals eventually died. The Tomb Kings didn't have a good time either. They got slaughtered. Like I said, my Outriders did okay. I had some units of Halberdiers that really didn't do much. One got seriously out of position. The other was just sort of waiting to go up. I probably should have moved it earlier. Didn't. Still, it was a lot of fun. I took a bunch of pictures. They're up on the Instagram page. And I might put them in the community tab if I already haven't. I can't remember. I'll put those up soon. But it was a ton of fun. It was great to play the game. But yeah, I hate artillery dice. I'm probably going to have some sort of PTSD to it. Hate artillery dice now. On the other note, today, as of today, today's Thursday, I played another game of Warhammer 40,000. Got that in. I was supposed to play it last Thursday, but we switched it up for the Friday Mega Battle. Took my Black Templars. I said before, that may be the last time I take Black Templars. This battle changed my mind. I'm not sure what it was. I took one of the new formations that they have. I can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head. But yeah, it was amazing. Vindicators. I have two Vindicators. So in the list, I have two Vindicators, an Assault Terminator Squad, two 5-man Crusader squads, and a Castellan, which is what the Black Templars call their lieutenants, or lieutenants, however you want to say them. And wow, I think I'm getting better. I've learned. I'm getting back to it. But my Lord, Vindicators can pump out a ton of damage with their cannons. They can withstand a ton. It took a lot of firepower. I was playing my friend with his Tau army. It took a lot of firepower to take one Vindicator down. The Terminators, they absorbed a withering amount of firepower, and they eventually, both squads were eventually destroyed, but they did a lot of damage beforehand. They took a lot of firepower. And the battle, we kind of had to mess with it a little bit. We still played for objectives, but the tables, unfortunately, where we're playing right now, the tables aren't very big, so we kind of have to make do. We're doing 1,000-point battles. But it's a lot of fun. And I'm learning the techniques again. I actually saw a video recently about, learning what to shoot and not to shoot. Shadow Sun was on the board. It was hard because Shadow Sun has lone operative, so it's very hard to get her into range, but I also just ignored her for the most part. Let her do whatever damage she has, but I went after the units I knew could deal lots of damage. Two Vindicators was nasty. I did just an abysmal to my opponent amount of damage with those guys. Assault Terminators did really well. They were still in the fight. The other Terminators did well. My Crusader squads, I was pleasantly surprised with. There was still the feeling of, because they're old, they're just not as good. But they held their own. They did a lot of damage. They were able to take out some units. And I gotta say, this formation, I can't remember this detachment, but a lot of really nice stratagems, to go along with it. Lots of stuff. There was stuff, getting invulnerable saves against mortal wounds, which came in handy. The enhancement I used allowed my character to allow his unit, you do once per battle, fight first, which came in handy against some Kroot rampagers, because it allowed me to take care of them before I took a whole bunch of attacks on the charge, which is not nice from them. They are very nasty close combat. But like a lot of Kroot, sort of like a glass hammer, they not very good in armor saves. It also lets you use different vows as it goes on. One allows you to have a 5+ invulnerable aim at shooting. The other one allows for more movement, and another one allows you to add strength, +1 strength to your melee weapons. And so I used most of those. The shooting one came in handy. As it were Marines that didn't die that should have, but because I had an invulnerable save, because I went up against Tau, there was a lot of high-powered, high AP minus values there. So it's great to see. So in the long run, will I be keeping my Black Templars? That was a big question. I think I might. I don't know how much more I'm going to add to them whenever the new codex comes out. I do have a feeling, obviously, a lot of the stuff will disappear. The old Crusader squads will be gone. They'll be replaced fully with the Primaris Crusaders. So I may pick up a box of them, the Primaris Crusaders. Definitely going to pick up a Marshal and or the Emperor's Champion, because I think that'd be helpful. The Emperor's Champion's great in combat. But yeah, the simple basic rules of this detachment are really nice. The Crusaders allow you to re-roll the charge if you need to, which came in handy. I need to do that a couple times to get me in where I needed to. Yeah, it came together really well, and obviously I'm relearning the tactics and the stuff that I learned before. There's still some stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense. I think 10th is just kind of, it's just misaligned in so many different ways. Just some rules. For instance, battle suits have tank shock because they're kind of considered tanks, but they're only toughness 5. I think they definitely need to rework some rules in favor of that. And again, old sucks. My Crusader squads they did really well this particular game, but that's because of the enhancements and stratagems I could use at certain parts, which is, I mean, that's part of the game. It's what you're supposed to use enhancements and stratagems for. However, like, even my opponent, my friends said, like, that's it. I'm like, that's it. They're not the new Primaris. They don't have all the extra stuff. They're armed with bolters, bolt pistols, and Astartes chainswords, and I had one that had a power fist, a power weapon, and a flamer in it. You know, there's some options there, but honestly, they're old, and Games Workshop wants you to get the new stuff. So Mike Castellan did well. I like the fact that I was able to use that special enhancement. I can't remember the name of it right now. This is one of the Grotmus detachments that came out for Black Templars. So it was fun. It was good. So I think I'm actually going to keep the Black Templars around, which is really cool. So yes, I'll have to paint up some new Crusader squads, the Primaris ones. And it's also showing me what I have to do for my Space Marines. I have so many, or I should say my Ultramarines. I have so many models. Terminators are a must. I may pick up some Vindicators for that army. Time to get rid of the old stuff and bring in new stuff. Actually, I was looking here. I have a box of Outriders that I've never opened yet. So I may make these guys Black Templars. Who knows? It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have some speed. I definitely need more speed in this army. But yeah, I definitely need more speed in my Ultramarines, so I don't know. I have 5 more Infernus Marines that came from the Leviathan box set that I made to paint up as Black Templars, just to have a unit out front laying out a lot of firepower in terms of the Pyroblasters, clearing out that central objective, trying to put some pressure on it. But yeah, all in all, the last week has been amazing. Massive mega battle, so much fun was had, even with my abysmal artillery dice rolling. It was still a ton of fun. It was great just getting together and playing a nice big mega battle. Was fantastic. The game tonight, it ended up being a draw. We ran out of time at the end. We both had we had to change it up a little bit. We weren't using a lot of we were using secondaries, but we ended up about 25 points apiece, just in the 3 objectives, one in my end, one in my opponent's, one in the middle. But it was great. It was a lot of fun, and I hope to do more of that in the future. This has been sort of my year for 40K so far. We're in March now. I've played 3 games in a huge mega battle, which is a lot more than I did over the last 3, 4, 5 years beforehand. So it's just been so much fun. And I want to thank you guys for following along on this, and the support that I've gotten from people. It's been great. It's been so much fun. But yeah, this is sort of an after battle walkthrough. Thank you guys very much as always. Hit that like button, share, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, keep rolling those dice, guys. It's getting late here. Have a good night.